Good day, Mzansi. Today's gonna be late. It's gonna be happening. I'm featuring one of the most phenomenal speakers, one of the most, one of the few people I actually look up to, and one of the people I really, really admire. And I just cannot wait to be with this man. Uh, I've been in contact with him for a while now, and I thought it will only be best and fair for me to feature him in this show. Just hold on a bit as I bring on Xolani. I'm just trying to join me. Yes, remember this is Talks with MGL, the motivator. Today we'll be talking about how he actually made it. Just to give you a little bit of history in terms of who really Xolani is. Xolani is one of those people whom, against all odds, regardless of failure, regardless of whatever that circumstances he found himself in, but he continued to push because of the vision that he had. I'm just trying to, yeah, here he is, Xolani. Yes, I really cannot wait for this interview because I've been looking up for this guy for some time. And yeah, hey man,
How are you, brother?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm okay, can't complain, man.
Welcome to Talks with MGL. Our aim is quite simple. It's just to inspire and educate, but most importantly, to create network. Let the people know who Xolani is. Let the people know what we're doing. Uh, who knows whom we might find within the show. So the aim really is just to network, educate, and inspire. So welcome to the show. I'm really grateful for you to taking such an opportunity to be with me on this fantastic show. Xolani, I hate introducing people because I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I like giving people platforms to introduce themselves. So you don't feel like, but Mala, you just missed something. I'm also this, you know. So yeah, the platform is yours. Who is Xolani?
Um, like you mentioned, my name is Xolani Mzileni, born and raised from Katlehong in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I'm currently a student within the University of Johannesburg. I am enrolled in Masters in Operations Management. And yeah, I don't know what to say more. I do a lot of things. I think there will be we'll discover more as we engage with our conversation. But those are the basics. That's who I am.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Um, so I was fascinated by something as I was going through your world, you know. So one of the things I've learned or grew to understand is that social media is a very powerful tool to connect the youth and to connect the world as a whole, you know. So when I was going through your wall, I was very impressed to see an article saying you were a person who used to fail, I think.
Yep.
And against all odds, you never give up on yourself. You never give up on the vision that you had for yourself. I mean, so for some very weird reasons, you managed to also obtain distinctions, which makes me impressed, really. And I've been wondering what were you thinking along the line? You failed, Xolani, but what was going through your mind, your thinking capacity at that moment in time?
It was not an easy journey. I won't lie, because on that article it's not stated how bad did I fail. I failed, yes, but the sad thing is I failed with 4 level 1s. That was a wake-up call. Imagine failing LO with level 1. How bad that is. Everyone
Yeah.
LO, but it came to my surprise that okay, I failed LO. It was a wake-up call, based on the challenges that I was facing at the time, being a teenager, all that. But after I failed, I had to do a lot of self-introspection to ask myself, who am I? What is it that I really want in life? And My story is also inspired about where I come from, where I grew up. I grew up in Ekasi, in Kulelemi Kukwini, in a place where
Yeah.
there were no people that I would literally look up to, people that I would look up to. It would be people like who are working, staying at home, having a back room, so the motivation was so limited where I was. And after I failed, I made a decision that I do not want to be one of those elders in the future. I want to be someone that the youngsters of that specific time can look up into and say, I want to be like X. I want to at least accomplish or be more than what X is, So that's what actually inspired me. But the failure was the wake up call. It was terrible. It was very terrible.
Okay. Hearing that on its own will lead me actually to this second question.
Yeah.
Xolani, a lot of times when we face failure,
Yeah.
we already define failure as ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense. To say, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to take this anymore. I mean, for level ones is bad.
Very bad.
It's really bad.
The highest.
And I can start to imagine myself having such a report, taking it to a parent to say, Eish, kupetile. And you ask yourself, but did you even write? So how did you end up thinking, but I can actually be the example that I want people to follow. I want to be that one person. In Pagatini, those people will be like, you know what? I want to grow up in Xolani. How did you actually reach that conclusion? Hence, I'm interested in a thinking process at that particular moment in time.
Like I said, the lack of motivation around, because remember, the environment that you are in, firstly, it has an impact on you, and the people that surround you have an impact on you indirectly, so whether you like it or not, So I had to stand like aside from the environment alone and from the people that I used to hang up with and think and ask myself, with the same environment, with the same people that I am always surrounded with, will I be able to accomplish the dreams and the visions that I have? And the answer was probably not, or it will be hard. And I asked myself, if I think that should I continue this way, how would I achieve it? How would I achieve those dreams and visions? I couldn't get a straight answer. And education was the answer, From that point to say that I need to focus on my studies. I need to focus on my studies to at least be away from this environment until I am equipped and well developed enough to come back and present the change that I want within my community. So I had to identify that, okay, this is the vision that I want. This is the dream that I have. But how will I accomplish it? And education was the key, And if you follow up on my story, it was very hard to do matric without having a ID, because I didn't have an ID. So I was studying, but I knew that I'm not going to varsity, I'm not going to college, or I'm not going to get any proper job. So it was hard, but I understood the importance of education. Hence, when I received my ID, I had good marks that allowed me to enroll within the university. So the foundation has always been education. So yeah.
Xolani, I'm wondering, as a young person, because the argument or the debate that has been hitting up lately, most especially during this COVID season, is whether is education really important? Because a lot of people are saying, yes, you are graduates, but there's no work. And during the varsity system, I find a lot of youth being discouraged to say, fine, I will graduate and what? Come back home and sit. But you are one of those whom has always seen education as a key. And I'm sitting here wondering, but how did that came into place? Because there are a lot of heated arguments around education is useless, education this, education that. But you're one of the few who have always seen education as an important tool to their destiny or to their dream.
Yeah.
So I just want to know from you, what do you have to say to that somebody who's been like, I am discouraged right now. Yes, I'm studying, but I don't think the varsity system is for me. Because after graduating, I will still sit home maybe for the next 2 to 3 years without employment. How do you encourage that kind of somebody to continue and pushing harder and harder?
So here's my take with education. So you can be in education for two different reasons, right? Number one, it can be because you wanna pursue your academic career, or secondly, you wanna get skills and the qualification that you will use to apply in order for you to get the job in whatever industry that you're interested on. So it entirely depends on you, but this is my belief and my approach to education. A lot of people might define me as an academia, and I understand. I wouldn't blame those people because that's how I mostly present myself. But I do more than, I'm into entrepreneurship, I'm into music, I'm into motivational speaking. I do a lot of things, NGOs. So the key behind all that is education. If you know how education, it can open doors for you in anything that you want to do. Be it starting your own business, be it that you want to, go into the industry or go to work. It can open doors for you there. All you need to make sure that while you're still enrolled in whatever program that you're doing, you feel discouraged, understand that it is your tool. For the fact that you have started, make sure that you do your best. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. I always say to people, never chase to get results. Always fight for the best possible results. What do I mean by that? Let's assume in a case of a test, best result can be percent out of 100%, but the best possible result is 100%. So in what, with the perspective of academics or school, always strive to get the best possible results for the fact that you're enrolled in it, for the fact that you're doing it. Make sure that you kill it. And then after that, you must find a way of how can I use this qualification to open doors for me? How can I use this qualification to pave my way? Say, for example, you are in a motivational speaker, maybe you studied, what did you study? Let me ask that question.
Okay, I'm studying financial information systems.
Right. So with education, here's the power of education. You can use that financial information system to go into any industry that you want, irrespective of finance. You can go into engineering with that. You can start your company with that. You can start your NGO with that. You can start your school with that. So it is up to you and how you actually connect your qualification and your vision and goals, because just the qualification without having a long-term objective of how you can actually use your qualification won't help, and you will easily be discouraged once you face certain pitfalls in the journey. But if you understand that, okay, I'm into engineering, I'm currently doing engineering, but I want to be in the finance sector. Now the question is, how do I use this qualification in engineering to pave my way there? There is always a way, but that's possible if you make sure that you kill that engineering, irrespective of you loving it or not. For the fact that you did it, kill it, do your best, so that wherever you go, people can be able to listen to you. So that is my approach with education. It entirely depends on you. I love teaching. I love entrepreneurship. With education, I can do either of the two. So education is indeed a tool, depending on you how you use it.
I think that's a very powerful statement, and it's really important that we get to educate people about the importance of education.
Yes.
Because when it comes to me, let me actually bring this up.
Yeah.
What education did for me was it gave me a platform to unleash my talent.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Mm-hmm.
it also gave me an opportunity to network and build following. In a sense that right now I know I can touch 1,000 lives out there.
Mm-hmm.
Without me perhaps being presently there via the use of social media and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to do that if I was not in the education system,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So again, to what you just said, to say that you can either go into entrepreneurship, start your own NGO, whatever the case might be, but with the basics or the understanding or the fundamental of education, which I think that's important.
Yeah.
But this brings me to my fourth question. I think it's the fourth. I'm currently in the process of publishing a book called The Untold Truth about pain.
Shout out for that.
So what the book does is that it educates the young people of how pain is important
Okay.
and how you can turn your pain into power.
Mm-hmm.
And to ask you this, I understand that the moment you failed, there was a lot of noise. Let it be from neighbors, let it be from friends, let it be from teachers, let it be from the principal himself or herself, and everything like that.
Yeah.
There's always a noise whenever a person fails.
True that.
People will criticize you, will gossip about you. Sorry to bring this up, but you might even lose your partner for that matter.
That's true.
Because they are very ashamed of you at that particular moment in time.
That's so true.
But against all odds, you managed to get out of that. The question is how? Because when you go to school every day, bathi nangu lo mfana ofailile,
Yeah.
ngicela ukuthi ungafani naye.
Mm.
You know, there are those people emakasi that they will show you ukuthi uyambona.
Yeah.
He was in the high school system, wafela bheka manje unjani.
Sure.
We always have this kind of examples. Unfortunately, when it comes to a profession is concerned, the only examples we have, which was one of the reasons why I also had to change my environment, was that the only profession that I could be inspired about was either to be a teacher or a nurse or a police. Those are the people that I grew up seeing a cast. That's a definition of success.
Yeah.
But how do you then overcome the criticism, the judgment, the betrayal, even from the people you trust the most, even from people who are supposed to be a shoulder to cry on? Right now, there are that entity that always will make noise for you.
Mm-hmm. So with regards to failure, so this is how I take failure. I always take failure as fuel and the energy for me to become a better person. So in a way, positively so, in everything that I do, I am constantly seeking failure. That might sound wrong, but understand me. What do I mean when I say I am constantly seeking failure? I don't want to be consistent in things that I do. After the lessons and the experience that I've faced in life, I don't want to be consistent, but I want to improve. So the best and the only it's through you failing. So
yeah,
failure depends on how you look at it, you know, and what makes a lot of people to give up once they face these challenges is the fact that they always focus on the negative side, I'll generalize this. For each and every problem, we should not look at the depth of the problem. How big is the problem? We should always be solution oriented. We should always be focused on how can we resolve this, because it becomes a challenge. Now let's look at it in this way. You have a problem. I'll use maybe education. You have a problem. You fail in one module, right? And then you don't study. You're still depressed. You're more focused on the pain or the negative impact that you failing the module has on you. And then let's say the secondly, you fail another module. You didn't study for the first one that you failed, and now you face the second one. So what's happening there is you are accumulating more problems. Instead of you being able to handle the first problem, you've added the second problem. So instead of focusing on the problem, always look for solutions. What's my way out? what's my way out? Hence, even when someone would come to me and say, yo, X, I'm having the problem, this and that and that, I always, in a way, okay, I would listen to the words or the problem first. After that, I would talk more about the solution. I hate hearing about problems more than the solution. So that is the principle I apply to myself whenever I face a challenge. Yes, it will feel bad, but I always, put the problem aside and focus on how can I solve this? How can I improve from this? What's the lesson? So it's the mindset of how we actually handle problems and challenges. I know I'm about to deviate, but I always ask people the question, what is the difference between a problem and an opportunity? And the answer to that is those two things are the same. Problem and opportunity, it's one and the same thing, because a problem presents you an opportunity to do something. An opportunity is a chance for you to fix a problem. So everything that comes to you, it's up to how you look at it. It's up to your mindset. So yeah, that's my approach in a nutshell.
I think there's a question coming from Tabi_, the author. Is asking, how do you overcome judgment and criticism?
How do I overcome judgment and criticism? I just don't entertain it. In the time that we are living in, as young people, whenever we face problems, the first place to take it is on social media. Some people hate you, blah blah.
Spot on.
That's the first thing. On your status, you'll start posting there. Boys are what, girls are what. So I got to understand that, Tori. Your negativity, or let me put it in this way: whatever challenges that you face, try to contain them to yourself. And find a way to digest it and look for the positive. Like, for the positive, meaning that what can I learn? That's how you come up with solutions, and that's how I overcome, let's say, maybe negativity and all that. I don't post on there are people on my WhatsApp page, they know, only posting memes, like funny things. I'm not about negative energy, because I believe reflects what's on your mind. If you are to post about relationship, your story about relationship, I don't think, so that's how I don't entertain, keep calm, and then analyze if maybe the negativity is constructive or not. Yeah, that's one of the ways I handle, we can say.
Okay. Just to add, I hear this question a lot. How do you overcome criticism and negativity around you, negative energy, all those kind of vibes? So what I usually advise is that there's a theory that I have called the winning attitude, which is the attitude you have towards problems, or towards the people around you, those kind of vibes, And what I do is that, let's say you're my boss, for example, and you come to me and be like, you know what, Mogale, you just wrote one of the trashiest report ever. Yeah. I don't even know what you're thinking when writing this. I mean, I can't tolerate this. What is this? That is bad. That is bad feedback. So I don't know, it seems like I'm losing you there. X, usasekhona? Xolani, seems like I'm losing you there. I'm not sure whether it's my network or it's yourself. I'm just trying to move around. Xolani, are you still there? All right, fantastic. Yeah, I was still explaining the concept of a winning attitude. To say that After such a criticism, angazi kwenzekalani? I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. You can't hear me too. Okay, let me end this and then we start again.